everyone, to the Not Just Nursing Show. I am your host, Kara Severe. And as always, we focus on the lives of nurses that do so much more than bedside nursing. We have pow-wowed with a first-time author. We've gotten fashion design tips, and we've even spoken to a nurse running for state office for the state of Georgia. Today, we're going to speak with a nurse who is a 7-time author, award-winning blogger. Join me in welcoming Nurse Kathy Quan to the Not Just Nursing Show. Welcome, Kathy, to the show.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you for being a guest on our show. So, Kathy,
You're
tell
welcome.
our viewers where you're calling in from today.
Oh, I'm coming from Southern California, just north of Los Angeles.
Oh, that sounds nice and sunshiny.
Yes, we actually have some sunshine today. The month of May, we usually call it May gray.
Oh.
And it was very gray and overcast. And today's June 1st, and here we go, and we have sunshine. So
Perfect.
we're headed to a hot summer, I'm sure.
Yes. Well, perfect. And again, thank you so much for being a guest on this show. So, keeping true to our platform, tell our viewers about your nursing experience.
Well, I've been a nurse for a long time. Graduated from with my BSN in 1975.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't even want to count the years anymore.
Right.
Yeah, so I worked in a hospital for a couple of years on a med-surg floor, and then I went into home health, which is where I wanted to go from the very beginning, but you got to get some experience first. So I stayed in home health and hospice. Now I work as a quality assurance nurse in hospice. So it's been a wide variety of things I've done. I've been a field nurse and in the administration path for a long time. So,
so a lot of experience. A lot of experience. I think that is really, really amazing. I know that starting your nurse career in the 70s and now where we are today, I know there's a lot of changes that have taken place. What would you say is the most memorable change? What would you say that if you could pinpoint something would be like the most shocking or, the most exciting change?
Well, as far as hospital nursing, I think it's changed tremendously. When I was working in the hospital, I was the only RN on a 38-bed medical floor.
Wow.
And I had, if I was lucky, I had 2 LVNs working with me. If not, I had 1. Sometimes I had none.
Oh,
and
my.
I had a couple of nursing aides who were fabulous. And, what I learned from that was if you want to survive the night, we worked 3 to 11. So if you wanted to survive the night, you had to be a team.
Yes.
And we had to work together. And, now it's like everybody's got a few patients and doing, total care for those patients. And it's a whole different ball game. And I know those nurses are still stressed, but I can't tell you what it was like to have 19 IVs running and 12 people that needed to be fed and some people that were just total care and how hard we worked. So, I feel for today's nurses, but I also know that, things have come a long ways. They need to come a long ways more because patient safety and, mortality rates are what's proven. We've got to have fewer patients.
Right, absolutely. And I couldn't even imagine a 38-bed unit with just yourself and 2 LPNs, and like you said, sometimes not even having help. So that is a tremendous change to where we are today. And I think it's just outstanding how even nurses today, we have been able to go from the bedside nursing and then parlay all of those skills into businesses. So even more so, we are still expanding beyond the comprehension of what nurses can do and who we are. So thank you for your contribution to nursepreneurship. So Kathy, you have your PHN certification. What is a PHN certification and how have you been able to insert that with your nursing career?
Okay, well, was part of my BSN program, and you had an option to go different routes to specialize in something. The PHN is a public health nursing certification,
Okay.
and in the 70s and pretty much through most of the 80s, you had to have a PHN in order to work in home health care.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of relaxed a little bit now. It's more that if you want to be in an administrative role, you have to have it, but it's not an essential part. But it was specialized training in doing home health care nursing, and also working in the public health community clinics and things, so that we had a little bit more information, on that kind of care.
Right. So that is something to know that there was a certification previously for nurses to enter into home health. And you're right, I have not heard of that being something that is required in today's time with nursing. So
No.
again, one of those things that has changed a little bit regarding the nursing career in home health.
Yeah.
So you have been able to do something that not a lot of nurses are able to do, and that is really kind of marrying the nursing career and then your passion for writing. So I really want to delve into that and talk about when you first started writing.
Well, I was about 12 years old when I first started writing.
Okay.
My dad brought home a big upright typewriter, which
Okay.
probably most people wouldn't even know what that is today. But
Right.
it just was exciting to me, and I was trying to teach myself how to type. I still don't type. I never took a typing course, so I still don't type perfectly, but I get the job done.
Right.
But, in order to play with the typewriter, I figured, well, I had to write something and not just be typing letters,
Right,
and
exactly.
So I got into that, and then as I got into nursing and patient education, especially in home health, we didn't have a lot of patient teaching tools that are available today. We had to do our own.
Right.
And so I got into writing those things and figured, I've got a lot of patients that have the same kinds of needs, so let's standardize some of the information for them and make my job a little easier. So just kind of expanded from there.
Absolutely. Makes a lot of sense. Like I said, being able to marry both of your passions together, helping others and writing is something that a lot of us have to really take a little more time and figure out, okay, how do I pursue my passion, but at the same time, pay homage to nursing and kind of use it as a platform. And it leads me to think about if there was anything in particular in your nursing career that I would say somehow enhanced your writing, something that maybe precipitated a title for your first book, for example. Was there anything in nursing that you pulled from to write your first book?
Definitely. Well, the first book was the Everything New Nurse book. So, and I took over. Someone else had already started that book, and so they already had an outline and the idea of what they wanted for the book. But I pulled from all of my experience and interviewed a lot of my friends and colleagues and stuff, and trying to get back to what was your first year as a nurse like, or how did you get into this? So it was I won't say it's a simple process, but it was easier because, like they say, you should always write about something that you know about, and that was very true. So I pulled from that. I had been working for about.com, which doesn't exist anymore, but I was doing the nursing site for them and writing about nursing things, and that's where this publisher found me and said, could you take over for this? And I was like, sure.
Right.
I haven't written a book before, but I'll do it.
Right. And I love that courage that you took as far as saying, hey, I haven't done this before, but I'm going to go ahead and try. And I've heard people exactly, I've heard people say that you should never say no. You should always say, okay, when? And then figure out how to do it after the fact.
Well, that's what I did. And, some friends of mine had been encouraging me to write something long before that and saying, you have to step outside your comfort zone. And that's a scary place to be, but that's the only way you're going to get to do what you want to do. And, even as, babies, they take those first steps, they have to step outside of their comfort zone and figure out how to walk. And so it's the same kind of a process. And I had some really good support people who, said, take this outline, make this book be like several different just articles, and then we figure out how to weave them together and make one flow into the next. But that simplified it and helped me figure it out. And, you don't get anywhere if you don't stick your neck out. So.
That's right. That's so true. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. That's right. Kind of be uncomfortable for whatever period of time that it takes for you to achieve your goals. So that's very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about some of your accomplishments are that you have awards for your blogs. You're an award-winning blogger. So I want to talk a little bit about those awards and how we can view some of your writing.
Okay. They're mostly from peer group.
Mm-hmm.
My nursing site blog has been awarded the top 5, the top 50, the top 60, the top 100 blogs. And a lot of times you see the same group of us together, which is nice, and then you feel like you're in great company. And then they add in some others, and so we get to explore without having to sit in Google and spend the whole day trying to find another new blog. But
exactly.
Some of them have come from places like nurse.org and the American Medical Resource Group. There's another company, Best Resume Guru, that honored that blog. And then I have a blog about aging parents, and the Assisted Living Today has honored my blog a couple of times. And then some of the other places have been Feedspot blog and what is that? I can't even read my own writing.
No, that's okay.
You can find them on there. The nursing site blog is basically the nursingsiteblog.com.
Okay.
And the Aging Parents blog is about agingparents.com. And then I have a couple of home health sites for home health professional nurses and physical therapists and whoever else. And one is homehealth101.com.
Right. So congratulations to you. You have a lot of awards for your blog, so congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, there's always that question about writer's block. If you've ever experienced writer's block, and if you have, how did you overcome that?
I experience that every day.
Oh, you do?
It's like, what am I going to write today? What am I going to do today? I've been writing for nursingce.com recently, and so the editor there, she'll send me an email and say, well, what are you going to write about this month? And I go, I don't know. Right. So, actually, this morning she sent me an email and she says, well, how about this topic? And I said, okay, fine, that's wonderful.
Right.
Give me a topic and I can research it and
go from there.
do something with it, but didn't try to figure out what do I want to write about. Oh, I don't know.
Right.
Unless it's something that, something on Facebook that's caught my interest, or, dealing with colleagues that are driving me crazy, and so I'm trying to say, okay, well, let's go somewhere with that. But you have to find a prompt or something that, gives you an idea. And I try to keep a list. I make lists of all sorts of things, but I try to keep a list of topics and ideas, and just jot down a word or two or a thought or something. And sometimes that's in the middle of the night. I do have a piece of paper by my bedside. Because
I like that one.
It's in the middle of the night.
Right.
But Yeah, but it can be a real problem. I could sit here for hours, and then I get up and I'm playing on Facebook, or I'm, doing something else, or going through 1,000 emails that are totally unimportant emails, but just because I have nothing better to do right now.
Exactly. Kind of break up the monotony sometimes. Kind of change your focus.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to go take a walk.
Exactly.
Or,
exactly.
Go run your errands and come back to it. But yeah, it's a very real thing.
Yes. Yes. And thank you for sharing tips of what you do to overcome writer's block. And we are going to pause right now and take a break. We will be right back after a word from our sponsors. My name is Cara Sevier, and I am a registered nurse. With over 12 years' experience in the nursing field, I have had my fair share of long, grueling 12-hour day and night shifts. I have experienced what all nurses wish they had more of: energy. A year ago, I began to think about how this issue could be solved. I thought that the solution should be something that was easy to use, easy to carry, and would have little to no side effects when used in conjunction with other energy-enhancing supplements. 7 months and multiple ingredient trials later, the AM/PM Shift Energizing Spray made its debut. It contains natural ingredients as well as anti-aging and skin-healing properties. Take control of your day with the AM/PM Shift Energizing Spray. Welcome back, everyone, to the Not Just Nursing Show. We are speaking with our wonderful guest, Miss Kathy Quan. She is a 7-time author, award-winning blogger. Welcome back to the show, Kathy.
Well, thank you. Glad to be back.
Thank you. So we want to talk about your 7 books. That is really an amazing accomplishment to have 7 books behind you. So would you let us know again what the titles of those books are?
Oh boy. Well, the first one was the Everything New Nurse book, and then we did a second edition of that, which was not too much of an update, but there were several chapters, because technology had changed.
Yes.
It's changed again. We really need to update that book again, and so people are like, wow, this is outdated.
Right.
And then they did a couple of other spin-offs on that. There was one where they took 150 tips and tricks from it and made that into a smaller book for people. I had to do some major editing on that. And then another publisher picked up the book and made the New Nurse Handbook. And we wrote 2 or 3 new chapters for that. Mm-hmm. Then I wrote a book of the Everything Guide to Health Careers, which I didn't like writing that book. It was really hard.
Oh my! Why so?
It wasn't my favorite book, but a lot of college professors have contacted me and said, we can't get very many of these copies of this anymore. Well, it's available on Kindle,
right?
And so I kind of pushed them in that direction, but I think it was more geared for academics and helping people to figure out, a career in health.
Right.
And then I wrote the Everything Guide to Caring for Your Aging Parents, which was one I had wanted to do for a very long time. And then I said, well, I've got to do something for home health nurses, because that's where I kind of started on the web, was with a website for home health, because there just wasn't a lot of information available. And we had this wonderful new thing called the internet where we could get information. So it's like, well, somebody's got to write it. So I did. And, so I took off with that. And so there's, my last book is the home health experience and how to transition your career path. into that. And I probably need to expand on that one. There's a lot in the OASIS process. It's a huge number of questions that Medicare wants us to answer about each patient so that they can get a better picture of what's going on with the patient. And now home health agencies aren't even hiring people unless they're familiar with the OASIS. And that's the age-old question. How do you get experience if you don't get hired to do the job?
Right.
So, I'm trying to help with that. So that was my first attempt at self-publishing, and it's worked out pretty well, and I'm enjoying it. It's on the top 100 list at Amazon. So,
wow, congratulations!
That's exciting.
That's very great. That's good to hear. Very good to hear. Are there plans to write an 8th book?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do something. You kind of sparked an interest for me, and other people have been too in dealing with my aging parents book.
Okay.
I have put together a PowerPoint course that goes along with that book that I've done at our community's adult education classes, and it was pretty popular for that. And then I've had friends who said, why don't we just have a book club meeting and you come and talk about your book? So I said, well, okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
A lot of people are saying, hey, I'm a nurse. And now I'm the not only the nurse, but I'm also the daughter or the son.
Right.
And how do I deal with this kind of thing? And so
exactly.
I think that maybe book number 8 is something about how to be the daughter and take care of all the aging people.
Mm-hmm.
In my family, I'm down to my mother-in-law. She's the last of the Mohicans there. So it's been an interesting journey, and it's been very different with each of them going through this. So I think maybe that may be where I'm going to go with the 8th book is how to cope and how to pull back sometimes. You have to. So
yes. I'm going to put my bid in for that to be your topic for your 8th book. So we'll definitely delve into that a little bit more as we continue with our interview process. So tell us about your writing process. I know each author is different in how they begin their writing process. Some people have a routine where they may wake up at a certain time every morning and maybe take a walk or something of that nature. So if you would, please just tell us a little bit about your writing process.
Okay, well, I work 3 days a week for hospice in the quality assurance department, and those 3 days I really don't have a lot of time to do much of anything. That's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. When I get home, I try to get through my emails and things and stuff. So Thursday and Friday are my days to write. And there are also days I have to take my mother-in-law to the doctor.
Yes.
Yesterday was one of those days, and I spent the whole day at the doctor's office. But I usually, get up in the morning. I'll bring my coffee. I bring my cereal or whatever I'm having for breakfast, and just kind of start looking through all my emails, what's going on, who needs something from me, who wants what. And then I have my list of, the articles and things that I need to get done. I have to get a blog post done for each of my blogs, and then, as I said, I write for other nursing organizations too, so I'll have some things I need to do for them.
Right.
And I always have, down at the bottom, start that next book, start that next PowerPoint, program or whatever and stuff. So, excuse me. That's always kind of at the bottom of the list, and I think now I'm going to have to put it back up at the top.
Yes. We need you. We need that book.
On that.
We definitely need that.
Yeah, it's just, and start picking off, okay, what have I got done? What's done? What do I need to do? And then dealing with that writer's block. So, sometimes around, 10 o'clock in the morning, then I'm out of here. I'm go for a walk, go run some errands, do things, and come back to it. So,
Right, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure your tips will help someone who is writing or wanting to get started with writing, and just kind of how that process works. It's not a perfect process, but life does go on, life continues, and we have to somehow fit our passion into our vision and our purpose and actually daily living.
Oh, yeah.
So that leads me to, I know, right? That leads me to my next question, and that really is about how you were able to parlay your writing skills and your nursing experience into a business. And I know that I was reading information about you on your wonderful website, kathyquan.com, and I saw where you're able to have classes online, some tutorials and teaching. Let's talk about that, your business and how you started that.
Well, excuse me, my home health website has kind of evolved into trying to, and part of my job as a quality assurance person is helping nurses learn to document, and not just in home health and hospice. It gets to be very much I'm like, no, you got to get down to the specifics of what you did, what they can do, what they can't do. It's a negative type charting that we do as opposed to a positive charting that you would do in a lot of other fields of nursing. So that's a hard process for nurses to get into and say, well, why do I need to keep saying something negative here? Because you need to show that in hospice we have to show that the patient is declining.
I got you. Okay.
In home health, you've got to show that the patient is making measurable gains, but once they've made all those gains, then you've got to discharge that patient. Okay. And so you need to make sure that you're not skipping ahead too fast. Have you really given them all the care and treatment that you possibly can? And when you have, and when they're capable of doing it themselves, then it's time to move on. But you also have to make sure that you're documenting that they do that. So documentation is a huge issue, and that's where I went into designing a course for it. Just to give people an idea, you're not writing a novel, you're not writing, a essay or a paper for school or something like that. There's just a few simple things. And what I learned, I took a lot of journalism in high school and college, and learned to ask the questions of who, what, when, where, why, and how.
Right.
And if you take those and break them down and figure out what part of the nursing belongs in each one of those questions. It's simple. You're just writing a sentence to tell that, and that's all you've got to do. Or maybe it's a few words. It doesn't have to be a long thing. And a lot of people are very scared of having to write, and how do I say this? And so, I'm just kind of trying to help people learn the process a little easier and make life easier for them, and move on. So I've done that. I've done some editing for the National Association of Pediatric Nurse Practitioners. They've had some papers that they'll have 4 or 5 people writing different parts of it, and then it's like, okay, we want this to sound like one person wrote it. So we need to help do that. I've done that. I've helped a couple of my colleagues who've written books, and then, oh my goodness, they printed them, but oh good Lord, you see all the errors that are in there. That's the problem with all of us trying to do self-publishing is, you write it, you're reading it, you're looking at it, and it looks okay to you. You let somebody else read it, and oh my goodness, it's, we're not going through the publishing process where there's 12 editors in a publishing company who look at it and tear it apart and redo it, and maybe that was one of my experiences. Was I had an editor once who just wanted to rewrite everything I did, and she made it completely changed the meaning and the process and everything. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Right. You don't do it that way. Exactly. Or people that want to take Nurses Week and put an apostrophe in there. I said, well, yes, technically
That's
there
true.
should be an apostrophe, but
Right.
there's not, you know,
Right.
and
Right.
so, you know, that's the way it is. But, so, yeah, I've kind of built a little bit of a business in selling courses and trying to self-publish this book, and I'm going to self-publish the next one. And,
Yes.
you know, then you've got to be the whole sales company.
Exactly,
So,
exactly. The marketing company, all of that, all of that.
yeah, the whole 9 yards.
Yes, yes,
All by you,
yes.
but you know,
Right.
so there's a lot to do with social media and making sure that,
Exactly.
you know, you're getting the word out there. The nurse writer groups on Facebook that I am part of, and you know, we support each other and we encourage each other, and you know, we try to help each other figure out what your next writing is going to be and that
Right.
sort of thing. So you know, it's all a big family affair.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
Takes a village, right?
Exactly, and find your village, you know, for that support. So we congratulate you on that and coming so far with writing and your contributions. So thank you. I want to move into something that you are working on, and you mentioned it's about aging parents. You already have a book already on that, but you want to kind of pick that back up and rework that. I definitely sympathize with that topic. I'm actually in the midst of that process myself, caring for aging parents, and it is a lot. It's quite a bit. I know you mentioned about the next book also incorporating a voice from the standpoint of I'm the nurse, but I'm also caring for my parent. I'm the nurse, or I'm the daughter or son, I'm caring for my parents. So for me, all of that is the case. I'm the nurse, I'm the daughter, caring for aging parents. And I just want us to talk about that and where we are today, and where do we begin on how to care for our aging parents?
You know, it's a very individual kind of thing, but it's also a very broad subject as well. But some of it you have to tiptoe through and get into, you know, first of all, it's taking the keys to the car away and making sure that they're safe, and are they still able to fully function and take care of themselves, and are they eating, are they drinking enough liquids and all those kinds of things.
Exactly.
You know, and are they 3,000 miles away from you, or are they, you know, 5 or 10 miles away from you, or in my case, they're living in my downstairs bedroom. So, you know, and there's a lot of different things with all of that, but it is really hard to be the daughter or the daughter-in-law and be the nurse, because you know, they want you to be all things to them, and there's a lot of things. There's boundaries you have to set. There's things that, you know, I mean, I will go so far, but I'm not going to do that for you.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
And, knowing where to go. Home health care is probably where I would always suggest that you start.
Okay.
Talk to your parents' physician, go to the doctor's appointments with them, get them comfortable in feeling that, you know, okay, I'm not invading your privacy, but I'm here to make sure that, you know, you're safe and that we're getting the best care possible for you. And then, you know, ask the doctor for a home health care referral, because home health care offers nursing, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and social work. And you mentioned that social work, and oh my God, no, now they're gonna kick me out of my house. No, that's not what it's about. It's about helping you figure out financially how you're gonna handle this. They need extra care in the home, how you're gonna pay for it.
Exactly.
If that's not possible, how do we get you onto Medicaid or Medi-Cal? You know, where do we go? Let's look at the bigger picture and make a plan.
Exactly.
and then your physical therapy and your occupational therapy can come in and examine your house, what's safe, what's not. First thing is get rid of all the throw rugs.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got throw rugs on top of carpet, on top of this, on top of that, and one thing my mother-in-law used to do was put shower curtains down on top of the carpet. So,
Really?
Protect the carpet from, incontinence issues.
Okay.
And I'm like,
okay.
oh, that's nice. But now he's walking in his
into an ice skating rink.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And so, you go into someone else's home as the home health nurse, and you see all sorts of things. Believe me.
I can only imagine.
Necessity is the mother of invention, but you can't imagine how some people will just figure out what they can and can't do and how to do things that aren't safe. And, everybody that, couch surfs and the furniture's arranged in a manner so that they can walk from the couch, like a baby learning to walk.
Exactly. Right.
Hang on to everything to get from one point to another, but do you need grab bars in that shower? Do you need some extra help in, all these other kinds of things and stuff? And then having on hand a nice supply of styptic powders for when your mother-in-law falls down and her paper-thin skin just shears off everywhere, and she's like a volcano, spewing blood everywhere. So, didn't fracture anything, but bleeding. So, it's there's a lot to be considered, and a lot of it is just having that talk with them to begin with and say, look, we're not going to reverse roles here. I'm not going to become the parent and you the child, but, I'm going to have to take charge of some things.
Right.
And let's work together and see where we need to go with this. The other thing is their financial situation and making sure that they're paying their bills.
Yes.
Did the electricity get shut off because they didn't pay the bill, and now they can't understand why they're in the dark?
Exactly.
That kind of thing. No, I don't want to invade your privacy again, but if you don't want me to do it, do you want me to help you find someone else who can help you with it? Sometimes your senior centers are a great resource to figure out. They'll have financial people there that can help them with things and stuff. So it's a long process, but there's a lot of options. But a lot of times, if you just call your home health agency, they'll give you some points. Yes. Start here and do this.
Absolutely. You've given some real gems here. Most notably, that I will carry with me is having that conversation about privacy and saying, I'm not trying to invade your privacy, and I'm not attempting to reverse the roles. And I think in my case, for one of my parents, that may be an issue as far as role reversal, and kind of where the caring is coming from and how the caring actually is received for that parent. So I really appreciate you saying that, because you're right, it has to be actual words that are said, and then just reinforcing that and saying, hey, mom or dad, this is really where I'm coming from. I love you and I'm providing the best care for you, but we have to do it in this way so that you're kept safe. So thank you for saying those words. It's very important to have that direction on where to go, because let's face it, outside of nurses and others who have written about how to care for the aging population, it's not really a guidebook that you are born with to say, hey, this is how you work with your parents in 50 years or so.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And you want to keep them as independent as possible, as long as possible. But, and sometimes it's just, adding a cane, adding a walker, adding something that keeps them safe and lets them continue on with their lifestyle the way they want to. And that's what it's all about. But
exactly.
It's convincing them that, Mom, it's time to make a change, or, we do need to think about, even driving that car around the block, you might run over the child next door, or something. So,
it's very true.
You don't want that to happen. So,
very true.
then it puts a burden on you, because then you're the one who's got to take them everywhere or make sure they get transportation and things like that. So
exactly.
It's a process.
It is a process, and it really just opens up the necessity for a place to go. For instance, I think you and I had spoken about like a Facebook page or some sort of online method of communicating with other caregivers.
Right.
And I know that you have such a place for us to actually come and get information inside or actually share stories. Tell us about that, Kathy. How can we get on Facebook or whatever the medium is for that?
Well, I do have a Facebook page that's about aging parents. And then whatever, you just search for about aging parents and it'll bring it up. And so it gives it an opportunity for anyone to add resources that they've found or, start some discussions and things. Or, of course, it brings links to my blog and to my book and eventually to the course I'm putting together.
Yes.
There are a lot of places, on Facebook. You'll find many of them if you search for aging parents and things. So that, there's a lot of resources out there and information to be gathered. And, your local senior center is probably a great resource as well. And there's pretty much one of those in most communities, at least in larger cities.
Right.
And, but as a nurse, you need to set boundaries with your parent too, and say, no, maybe somebody else is going to do something for you that, but no, I can or I can't.
Right.
And one other point is to realize that, like with any other patient that we've cared for, that person is not the same person that, was your mom or your dad when you were 6 years old, 10 years old, 20 years old. They become, you kind of begin to pull back a little bit and have to look at them as someone else. My mother, when she took care of my dad, when he was, he died when he was 57 years old, so the last 10 years of their marriage, from the time he was 40-something, she said, he's just the man I'm taking care of. He's not really my husband anymore. And, for a while I was like, that sounds so cruel and so, but it was true in a way, because, we're never at our best when we're not well.
That's right.
And so, we don't always put forth that same persona that we do, when we feel good and we're, happy and, carries on with life. So you have to allow for that and understand it and not feel guilty about it and say, this is just a part of the process, part of the journey, and that's the way it's going to go. So
exactly. All of that is true. All of that is true, and it is what it is. And the best thing that we can do is prepare for that and to have resources set up so that we can gain that information and successfully do what we need to do. So Kathy, share with our viewers how we can find you online and on social media.
Okay, well, the easiest place to start is kathyquan.com, and that's Kathy with a K, APHYQUAN.com. And there's links to all my websites and my books and other places where I've written and things like that. So that's the easiest way. There's also links to my Facebook pages. I have one for the nursing site, and I have one. There's a group for the nursing site if you want to join that. And then the about aging parents, and then I also have one for my Home House 101 site. And then at Twitter, it's at KLQ727.
Okay.
Stop secret.
Okay.
KLQ727. You can follow me on Twitter, and I have a Pinterest account at the nursing site, and whatever else I have. I haven't really brought my Instagram account into the business end yet.
Okay.
I have my personal Instagram.
Okay.
People want to see all the pictures of my grandchildren.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, if you start with KathyQuan.com, that's where you can go from there and pretty much find out what you need to know.
Perfect.
So.
Perfect. Well, Kathy, thank you so much for being our guest today. We really appreciate the valuable information that you have shared with us. And I know for myself, I will be looking you up on Facebook and connecting with your aging parents Facebook group. And we wish you much success in your life and in your business. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you next
Thank
time
you.
on the Not Just Nursing Show.
Thank you.
You're welcome.